They don't put in extra work. They don't go above and beyond to hone their skills, improve their game. This is a club. This is a get-together. This is a player meet and greet. This is a hangout, and the WNBA is just where they choose to hang out. And the NBA and the owners within the league, they're funding this hangout.
The WNBA is freaking out right now. And it's not about bad TV ratings or empty seats. Nope, this time it's way bigger. Another league is waving a huge paycheck right in front of their star player, Caitlin Clark, and it's got everybody in panic mode.
Feel it? Can you feel the panic reverberating throughout the WNBA dump? WNBA players think they have leverage. Keyword, think. Now, in their defense, they do have leverage in the short term.
For months, the WNBA's been hearing players complain about getting paid peanuts while the league's raking in record money. Now, their worst nightmare just showed up. A rival league that's ready to pay women's basketball players what they're actually worth.
Now, I don't know what to believe from financials, but they got a lot of money backing them from TNT Sports and a lot of investors. And word has it that they came within $10 million of breaking even their first season. That's damn sight a lot. That's damn sight a lot better than the WNBA's done ever.
Let's be real clear about what's going on. Unrivaled, that 3-on-3 startup league that's been making noise since January, just wrapped up its very first season. And the numbers? They're insane.
Unrivaled will forever change the WNBA.
For sure.
And the way that they do business, the way that they treat their players, any agreement going forward. Unrivaled did things that were unprecedented. And I think it showed players their value, and players in that upcoming CBA are going to ask for everything. And I think that they're going to have to make something work if they want to see the product on TV, right?
Players averaged $220,000 for just 8 weeks of basketball. That's almost 3 times what the average WNBA player makes in an entire season. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, the player who single-handedly brought women's basketball back into the spotlight, is making just $78,668 in her second year with the Indiana Fever. The math is so bad it's almost a joke.
Essentially stalled for a new collective bargaining agreement in the WNBA. For the first time ever, WNBA players think they have leverage. Keyword, think. Now, in their defense, they do have leverage in the short term. The problem is, if this short-term leverage is used and the 2026 WNBA season is canceled, it could have devastating long-term impacts on pretend basketball.
Here's where it gets interesting. Unrivaled isn't just tossing money around for fun. They know exactly what they're doing. League President Alex Bazell says player salaries will go even higher in 2026 after their debut season blew past every financial prediction. They pulled in over $27 million in year one and almost broke even, when most new leagues lose millions. And now they've got their eyes locked on one player who could turn them from a cool new idea into a real threat to the WNBA's monopoly, Caitlin Clark.
I'm wondering, will the WNBA get within $10 million this season? I kind of doubt it, considering Caitlin Clark's missed, 13, 14 games or something like that? We saw ticket prices plummeted. We know the ratings have gone down in games that she's not involved with, which has drove the ratings down across the league. So I don't know.
At the 2025 All-Star Game in Indy, every single WNBA player walked onto the court wearing black shirts that said, "Pay us what you owe us." More than 40 players joined a heated meeting with league officials, the biggest turnout in WNBA history. They've opted out of their current labor deal and now want a $45 million team salary cap with up to $1 million max salaries. But here's the kicker. They're asking that from a league that just lost $40 million in what they called their most successful year ever.
In the All-Star Game, wearing "Pay us what you owe us" t-shirts. WNBA players whose salaries are subsidized by the NBA wear t-shirts declaring, "Pay us what you owe us." They must have thought this was a great idea. Oh, folks, we're really going to stick it to the owners. We are really going to stick it to the league. We're going to walk out in solidarity with a t-shirt that says, pay us what you owe us, and then they'll have no choice but to pay us what they owe us. Now, my question is, what exactly?
The timing couldn't be better for Unrivaled. While WNBA players are begging for scraps from a money-losing league, Unrivaled is showing women's basketball can actually make money and still pay players fairly. The difference is embarrassing. Angel Reese won $50,000 just for winning the Unrivaled championship. That's more than 2/3 of her entire rookie WNBA deal. Paige Buchers will pull in around $350,000 in her first year there, more than her entire 4-year rookie deal in the WNBA.
Is that Paige Buchers' 10-week commitment to Unrivaled? 10-week commitment, 10 weeks to Unrivaled. She will make more in that first year than she will in the WNBA, where she's only projected to make $78,000. And I know there's still some haters, some unbelievers mad that women decided to bet on themselves, make this startup that is already putting the foot on the gas, right? Already making the WNBA look bad. I understand that. And they're wondering how they're paying for it. Well, Unrivaled made $1 million in ticket sales this year. Unrivaled made over $1 million in merchandise sales this year. And that's not even counting like the jersey.
Now picture this. Caitlin Clark signs with Unrivaled for 2026. Suddenly, they've got the most marketable player in the game. She packs arenas, spikes ratings, and crashes streaming services. But what if it doesn't stop there? What if they switch from 3-on-3 to full 5-on-5? They've already hinted at it, with talk of moving to bigger arenas and changing formats. Imagine Unrivaled in 2027, a 5-on-5 league with Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Buchers, and every other star who's tired of being underpaid. They're playing in NBA arenas on TNT with real salaries. Meanwhile, the WNBA's stuck with whoever couldn't get a better deal, playing in half-empty gyms while Unrivaled sells out Madison Square Garden.
Alex Brazel, the co-founder of the 3-on-3 Women's Basketball League, composed of exclusively WNBA players, told Front Office Sports that the league has signed nearly 90% of its player pool for the 2026 season. Quote, "We have a few spots left, open the field, and then we're pretty much ready to go."
And the WNBA's response? Total denial. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert keeps talking about transformational change, while offering the same revenue split that's kept players broke for 28 years. It's like watching someone try to put out a house fire with a garden hose while a fire truck sits right there. The worst part, they had every chance to make Caitlin Clark the superstar centerpiece of the league. And instead, they let players turn her into a target. They sat back while veterans cheap-shot her, trashed her popularity, and made her apologize for bringing attention to the league. That's not just bad business. It's the dumbest strategy in sports.
I've been telling y'all this. The league doesn't like Unrivaled. I'm tired of going back and forth with people that's no business would want you to work for them and then basically replicate their business and try to make it better and all that type of stuff. No business does that. So it baffles my mind how a lot of y'all sit back and think, oh, the WNBA loves Unrivaled. No, they don't.
Meanwhile, Unrivaled is rolling out the red carpet. Luxury apartments, personal chefs, childcare, recovery facilities, and even a Sephora-sponsored glam room. They get that taking care of athletes is more than just writing checks. It's about creating a place where they can succeed on and off the court. The WNBA's big win in player care? Charter flights, which they only got after decades of complaints. The truth is brutal. The WNBA keeps losing money and only owns 42% of itself after selling control, just to keep the lights on. Unrivaled, on the other hand, raised $35 million, signed a $100 million TV deal with TNT, landed sponsors like Samsung and Ally Financial, and still pays better than any women's pro sports league ever. No handouts from the NBA required.
It continues to show that this league is where people want to be because they treat them right. They're providing the resources for them. They're promoting them the way they should be promoted. And that's what women's basketball players deserve. That's what women deserve. A lot of you may be wondering, well, why can Unrivaled do it and why can't the WNBA do it? The WNBA can do it, but you need to understand can and will and choose to are all different.
You can feel the panic in WNBA front offices. Their top talent is openly talking to a league that offers more money, better treatment, and bigger opportunities. Sata Sabali just announced she's leaving Dallas. right after spending time with Sabrina Ionescu in Unrivaled. And here's the scary part. Unrivaled hasn't even signed Caitlin Clark, Aya Wilson, or several other megastars yet. They're already winning without them. The WNBA has until October to strike a deal with players or risk their first work stoppage ever. And now they're not just negotiating with players. They're competing with a league that's already proven what the WNBA says is impossible, paying women's basketball players like the pros they are.
Unrivaled is making moves. Unrivaled is making moves, and they making them in a major way, y'all. They are making moves in a major way. Unrivaled announced the signings of look, they're going and getting the young, popping, upcoming talent. WNBA, y'all better figure something out. Unrivaled is making moves. We already see the players talking about they are willing to strike. They want what they want. Pay us what you owe. Pay us what you owe.
Even WNBA legends are starting to call the league out. When players wore "Pay us what you owe us" shirts at the All-Star game, the crowd chanted "Pay them" right in front of the commissioner. Fans get it. Players get it. The only ones who don't seem to understand the numbers are the ones running the league. And then there's Caitlin Clark, the biggest draw in the WNBA by a mile. When she plays, Fever games average 1.81 million viewers. When she's hurt, that drops to 847K, a 53% drop that should have execs in full panic mode. She's not just popular, she's essential. So when Unrivaled comes in with an offer that makes her WNBA salary look like pocket change, why would she stick around in a league that's treated her like a villain?
Now, the WNBA has allowed players to play in off-season leagues for however long because they know that they are not paying them high enough salaries. Now, the goal of all the WNBA players, including Nafisa and Stewie, which is why they started Unrivaled, is to be able to pay the players more, give them livable wages, make it so they didn't have to go overseas, and I commend them for that. I think it's fantastic what they did with Unrivaled.
The best part? Unrivaled was co-founded by two WNBA vets, Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart, who got sick of the excuses and built something better. They raised money, signed TV deals, and created a league that actually values its players. And moving to a 5-on-5 format isn't a maybe. It's just a matter of when. Once that happens, the WNBA loses the one thing protecting it, being the only 5-on-5 women's pro league in the US. Then they'll just be the league with the worst pay, worst treatment, and worst business model.
WNBA is still under this major umbrella of the NBA, and a lot of that affects the way they do things. As long as the WNBA is in this 360 deal with the NBA, you're not going to see them promoting their players, paying their players, all the things that Unrivaled is able to do because they don't have that middle.
The writing's on the wall, and it's written in dollar signs. Unrivaled isn't just offering bigger paychecks. They're offering respect, equity stakes, and a growth plan that rewards success instead of punishing it. They're showing exactly what the WNBA could have been if it were run by people who understood the value of their own product. The WNBA had the gift every league dreams of, a once-in-a-generation superstar who could carry the sport, and they wasted it with jealousy and bad leadership. Meanwhile, Unrivaled is building the future of women's basketball, one well-paid player at a time. The question isn't if they'll compete with the WNBA. It's whether the WNBA will even survive in its current form once players realize they don't have to accept poverty wages to play this game. The revolution isn't coming, it's already here, and it's on TNT.